know, with this being everyone's favorite crypto channel, me taking yet another hiatus has been heartbreaking for all of you. But I wanted to come back today with a very important update on Cryptopia, which I know a lot of the viewers on my channel have been very interested about, and a lot of the comments have been asking about that. And I've seen them all. I've been the big L word when it comes to making these YouTube videos. So my last video was January 24th. And since then, I would say a lot of things have happened. The crypto market is trash. The stock market is trash. Gas prices are through the roof. Stepping outside literally costs like $100 an hour. Those are all bad things. I get that. But I do have some good updates. One is I got a new house. So this is my new setup. Obviously, as I was recording this, I'm like, I need to add a lot of stuff here because this is boring. And two, UGA they're still the national champs. So that's also good. In any case, to get to the point of this video, Cryptopia, they released a new tweet from their official Twitter account, and they released some updates on what's going on with their entire liquidation process. And like I said, I know a lot of viewers on my channel are interested in that. So am I. Obviously, I'm waiting for some funds from there as well. So let's take a look at the update together, and we can kind of get an idea of what progress they've made since last time, and maybe how much longer it'll take for the whole liquidation process to finish up. So here is the tweet from their official Twitter account. As you can see, the tweet kind of says, the liquidator's 7th report on the state of affairs of Cryptopia Limited, who is in liquidation, is now available. And as you can see down here, there are a bunch of comments that are very gracious and very patient with what's going on. Sarcasm. Okay, let's look into the report. I read through almost most of it. I read through it, so you don't really have to. Although, if you're interested in this, you probably should skim through it at some point to try and get an idea of, like I mentioned before, how much longer this might take. Spoiler alert, it doesn't look good timeline wise. So if we start here, they start with an introduction on who's making the report and that sort of stuff. Won't move past that. So here they start with a background. The background is basically that Cryptopia was hacked back in January 2019. This led to a reduction of assets, obviously, the assets that were stolen, and then because of a lack of trust within the Cryptopia platform, there was a lack of trading, which led to a reduction in revenue for the company. So with all that being said, that was a bad situation for them, and they weren't able to pay off all their debts that had become due. So they believed that in order to best serve their customers and staff and other stakeholders, as they say here, it was just best to liquidate. So that's the process that we're going through now. That's kind of like the history background of what's happened with Cryptopia in the past. One thing I noticed, or I had to figure out throughout this document, when it says we, it's referring to Cryptopia themselves. And when it says liquidators, they're talking about Grant Thornton. And Grant Thornton is the firm that's helping with the liquidation process, or at least handling that disbursement of funds in the future. Here's a schedule of things that have happened and things that need to have happen before we can move forward in the whole liquidation process. Long story short, we're kind of in stage 2 still. More account holders from Cryptopia, they need to go ahead and do the identity verification portion of it. They said that only 82.8% of users have done it so far. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. So they'd like some more, a larger portion of the user base to do this, so it'll be easier for them to move forward. I'm not sure how those two are related, but I don't know. That's the process that they're laying out. If you're watching this video and you're watching it because you're one of the affected users, I'd recommend, going through and doing this process. Get registered for the liquidation disbursement. So they have a couple links here. Yeah, they have a couple links here. If you're having issues with identity verification, use this link. They also have a customer support link. I believe that's the portal that I used in order to get registered. So find this report and follow those links if you're still having issues doing that. So moving along, they talk about how many account holders from how many different countries have they're trying to work with. So yeah, apparently the Grant Thornton, the liquidators, they will work with the New Zealand court system. So some of those items include approving of a distribution model that reflects the nature of stakeholders' property. So they're just trying to figure out, I guess, how to distribute everything, what to do with all the crypto that's going to be unclaimed, and setting a cutoff date on claims to be received and assessed. So I guess at what point do they stop liquidating and dispersing? So they have to figure all that out with the New Zealand courts. So that's also something that's taking some time. And even here, they say that they expect to file those applications within the next coming months. I mean, in my opinion, after reading this, I wouldn't expect anything for the rest of 2022, 2023 at the earliest, hopefully, maybe. So next, the report kind of goes into some of the situations that Cryptopia is even dealing with. So it talks about the hack itself here. They were able to freeze a lot of the assets that were moved to other cryptocurrency exchanges. So they were able to freeze those, and so that they didn't eventually make it into whoever did the hacks, their bank accounts. So they were able to retrieve a bunch of assets that way. So that's good. Obviously, that doesn't they didn't capture everything, and that doesn't capture everything. So still in that process as well. They talk about the investigations that they're doing. It's not a long section, so they say they can't provide further details. I mean, that's pretty, who knows what that means. And then they talk about some thievery that occurred within the company itself. Apparently it's not linked to the hack itself, but the money that was stolen from an ex-employee that was returned. So that's just something that they found during their investigations, but it has nothing to do with the hack, so they say. So anyway, next steps. Sounds promising, but actually they just said, if you've already registered, just keep checking your email. If you haven't registered, check your email, whether it's from Cryptopia or Grant Thornton. Keep checking your email to see if there's something you need to sign up for, or they might send further requests to help verify your identity. That part doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, if Cryptopia was still up, I would just need a login and password to get in. I'm not sure why so much identity needs to be verified, but that is what it is, I guess. So one interesting thing that I saw further along here, apparently Cryptopia had to sell off some Dogecoin that they had in reserve, about 5 million New Zealand dollars worth. So yeah, even they know that it's a poop coin, so they had to sell it. Even though we're in like a market really bad downturn, they sold the Dogecoin to help pay for their services from Grant Thornton. So then they have some closing notes down here, remaining matters, and it's basically a one-line kind of thing. At this stage, it is not practicable. I thought that said practical. Practicable to estimate a completion date for the liquidation. So, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't really look good that in terms of a timeline. They're working on it, but this was dated yesterday. Today's the 14th. This came out yesterday, so this is just the latest update that we got. And this update comes. This is the first update since March 27th, so almost 3 months later. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get another update in another 3 months. Hopefully before. And then down here they talk about how much they were paid, and they've been paid a lot. So hopefully that's not eating into our liquidation funds, because some of these numbers look kind of high. So I don't know. So anyway, folks, that's the current situation. I wish I had more information, but that's directly from the horse's mouth on what's going on. So if you're watching this and you are a person who is waiting for funds from Cryptopia, you just got to keep waiting. And unfortunately, with the way the market's looking, having any funds at all would be very beneficial. I know that a lot of people's livelihoods completely depend on, crypto trading and their assets that they've bought into. So not having access to it really is pretty sucky. So hopefully I have an update sooner for you next time, but I appreciate you watching my video. Have a good one.